Hi, Larissa. How are you? Good to see you.
Nice to see you too. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for agreeing on doing the interview. We're going to start with the first question, which is tell us about you.
Okay, well, I was born in Toronto uh, in a car on a very famous street in Toronto called Bathurst Street in front of our church on a very cold, wintry night. It was January 23. And uh, my mother, gave birth to me in the backseat of this car.
Wow.
Maybe that's why I like cars so much. I'm a big car fan. I have three cats right now. My background is Ukrainian. My heritage is Ukrainian. I started playing the piano when I was 4 years old, and I started composing music when I was seven. I studied at the University of Toronto and at the Royal Conservatory of Music. At the Royal Conservatory of Music, I studied with Dr. Sam Doan, and he taught a lot of very uh, famous musicians as well. So that was a wonderful experience. I studied at U of T with Oscar Morowitz, who was a very well-known Canadian composer, and now I'm teaching there. Oh, I also performed professionally. The last performance I did before I hung up my fingers was Rachmaninoff's Second Piano Concerto.
Now, I'm going to ask you about your hobbies. I don't know if you have time for your hobbies with your busy schedule.
Well, not really, not anymore. This year I had like five commissions, and it's nice to be wanted at this age, I tell you. I had a pretty good run as a composer, I must say. So I'm very, very lucky and very fortunate. I love cooking. I used to oil paint, but I don't have time for that. And I like to read books about people's lives, like true stories. And I also am fascinated by naturopath medicine. So I've studied that for about 25 years.
That's a very interesting topic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I've got 500 books, naturopathic books.
Wow. So you're a book collector as well.
I am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice. Now to the next question, which is actually related to your hobbies. What is your favorite food or cuisine?
Well, I like a lot. I like French cuisine. I like Italian, Chinese, Ukrainian, and Indian. I am what people call a pesco vegetarian. Um, so I eat fish and vegetables, basically. If I had to pick one food, it would be, I'm afraid to say this, cheese. I'm a cheeseaholic.
I think that's a very good pick.
Yeah, I can't stop eating cheese.
Our next question is, what is your favorite thing to do when you're in Montreal?
What I liked when I was in Montreal were the restaurants. So that, of course, like eating all kinds of foods, poutines, for example.
Your work that the Orchestre Classique de Montréal is performing is based on paintings of William Kurelek. Would you tell us more about this work?
Um, well, the suite is a musical interpretation of six selected paintings, which reflects Kurlik's struggles with mental illness, his conversion to Roman Catholicism, and his childhood on the prairies, his Ukrainian heritage, and his preoccupation with humanity's spiritual frailty in the face of atomic catastrophe. Um, so I found that really interesting about him, and I chose these six paintings, and most of them have is a self portrait. So the first one, it's called Portrait of an Artist as a Young Man. It's a self portrait of Kurlik. If I can remember some of the images in that painting, like I think there's a string orchestra in there. There's a nightmarish theme. There's a man emerging from an egg. There's a painting by Salvador Dali. So I thought, well, how do I create that musically? So I thought, okay, I'll start softly, make the music sort of very atmospheric and dark and mysterious, and it sort of builds to this climax. And I quote a Ukrainian liturgical theme called Sorrowful Mother. And the piece basically just concludes softly restating the opening material. So that's the first one. So the next painting is called Reminiscence of Youth. And so this is a self-portrait of the artist lying on his bed. And outside his window are these children playing in the snow. He's painted a lot of these snow scenes. And I love snow scenes, my favorite thing. Maybe because I was born in the winter and I love snow. So next to his bed is a copy of a Ukrainian poem. And it's about like springtime will return anew, and that it will never return again, something to that effect. So this is a painting of Kurelek's memory. So I thought I'd make the music very whimsical, lively, and exciting, depicting the fun that the children are experiencing, frolicking in the snow. The third painting, called All Things Betray Thee Who Betrayest Me, as self-portrait. I really like this one. It's very dark, and the colors are very similar to my background right here. Yeah. So I love this painting. So he's sitting on a hospital bed. He's in this mental institution in the Netherlands, and he's looking out the window. He sees the moon shining brightly on a cabbage field. And there's a glass of water on the windowsill. So I believe that represents living water of faith. So this shows the pivotal moment in his religious conversion. And he said that he felt a sense of total abandonment when he was in this institution, but he found God. And I think that helped him come out of his shell. So musically, the opening and closing atmosphere of this movement is very dark and sorrowful. It depicts, Kurelek's loneliness and his abandonment. But the middle part is loud with passion and fire. It depicts his torturous mind. And the piece ends with just a very slight hint of a Ukrainian funeral motive. This tune is played, at funerals, in the Orthodox Church. Mm-hmm. Now, the fourth movement was sort of fun for me. It's a barn dance. Well, the painting is called Barn Dance. So this is a self-portrait of Kurelek he's a little boy. He's attending this dance in Saskatchewan. And he's standing in the corner, high up in the corner, watching everybody dance. The music is very spirited and lively. The theme is my original take on Ukrainian folk music. I grew up with Ukrainian folk music. The first thing I heard, was Ukrainian folk music. I was highly influenced by Slavic music. And but I do quote a very popular Ukrainian dance called a Hobbies. And I used to belong to a dance group as well. And I also used to play the Ukrainian instrument called the bandur. It's like a lute. The fifth painting is called The Autumn of Life. And so in this painting, you see, this is a really, really cool painting. So in this painting, you see Kurelek's family gathered for a group photograph. He's in this group. I think he's like fifth from the right. And there appears to be a man crucified on a dead tree. With these apparently ravenous dogs around him, right? But in the distance, there's a nuclear cloud, and he likes to add some of these nuclear clouds in his paintings. Before he died, apparently, he spoke to the minister who was with him, and he said he sees Toronto on fire. I hope that doesn't mean anything really bad. So I hope not. Anyhow, that's pretty dark, I must say. So this painting summarizes everything what Kurelek's all about, his family, and his newfound religion, his fear of the nuclear holocaust. So the musical atmosphere is very, very dark. The opening theme is sort of an allusion to Ukrainian lullaby that my mother used to sing to me when I was a child. I chose this lullaby because I thought I needed to comfort some of the characters that are in the painting, and to hug them before the blast kills them all. So, so the second part of the piece features a solo violin. So have to give a solo for the violinist, just have to.
Of course.
Uh, yes.
I
So
totally agree with that.
yeah. So that solo violin represents Kurelek's fear of this nuclear holocaust, and the theme is sort of an allusion to the famous dies area that Rachmaninoff likes to use, the Berlioz, all the romantic composers. Why not? So I threw it in there, just a hint of it. And the very last painting is glimmering tapers around the day's dead sanctities. So this represents the artist's recollection of the Northern Lights during harvest season in Alberta. It's a really beautiful painting, and I've never seen the Northern Lights, but I try to imagine that they're actually dancing almost musically. So the piece ends happy, and I've added like tremolos and strings depicting the shimmering of the lights. And at the end, I think the title "Glimmering Tapers" is like a candle that's lit. So when the movement ends with a very short, quick melodic sweep, as if one were to blow out the candle. So
Oh,
that's the.
wow. I'm liking the work before I even listen to it.
Oh.
There is so much pictures in it and colors and emotions, and I'm really looking forward to that
Yeah.
now, even more. We're looking forward to actually seeing you in person on February 15th.
Well, I'm looking forward to it too. I can't wait.
Yeah, we too. All right. Well, thank you so much, Larissa, and thanks for your time, and see you soon.
It was my pleasure. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.